Hello and good evening, everyone. We are coming to you from the Capitol Center, getting you set for another presentation of Capitol Comets men's basketball here on athletics.capitol.edu. I'm Charlie Danis, and I'm happily joined in the booth tonight by Mr. Jonathan Brown. Jonathan, good to see you again.
It's good to see you too, man.
Jonathan Brown, a member of the Capitol track and field team, and he will be joining us throughout the season, providing us some color commentary. Well, my friend, we should be in for a good battle tonight. Capitol welcoming in the number 6 team in all the land, that being the Marietta Pioneers, a team that has consistently been one of the top 2, one of the top 3 teams in the Ohio Athletic Conference year in and year out. John Vanderwall, in his 15th year as head coach of Marietta, all they do is win, win, win no matter what. Typically, Jonathan, when you take a look at a typical Marietta team, strong guard play, strong post players up front. It's no different this year for the Pioneers.
The Pioneers are sitting at the top at the OAC at 12-2, worthy to have that number 6 title in the nation. But they are coming off an extraordinary win streak right now, beating off Heidelberg University last week, 100-84. Now, on the defensive side, they did let up one player in particular put up 33 points. But due to their enormous big three, and we'll talk about them, their big three, it was able to put together 27, 19, and 12 to pull out the victory.
We'll get to that big three for Marietta, as well as a key absence for the Pioneers tonight in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look back at the last game for Capitol. And it was a rather disappointing effort for head coach Damon Goodwin and his crew as they fell to Baldwin-Wallace 73-67. Jonathan, I was here for that game. And early on, it was a nice back-and-forth affair between the Yellow Jackets and the Comets. Comets were doing a good job shooting the ball, playing some good defense. But then before you know it, we reach halftime. Baldwin-Wallace up by 8. You go into the second half, and it always seemed like when Capitol came in with a punch, Baldwin-Wallace had a counter punch ready to go, whether it be a clutch three-pointer, some made free throws down the stretch. Hard-fought victory for Baldwin-Wallace, but you just kind of had the feeling that Baldwin-Wallace was always 2-3 steps ahead of Capitol in that one.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to look for here in this upcoming game. Capitol's doing a phenomenal job of spreading the ball out. So there's no one predominant scorer on the team, although David Sanford is leading the team with a total of 11 points per game. They're spreading the ball out well, but when it comes to consistency and sticking with it, they struggle with that, whether that's starting off the game or finding it rhythm in the second half. They just need to find their rhythm and stick with it and stick in the groove.
Now, they've made some changes to the starting lineup. We'll get to that in a moment. Going back to that Baldwin-Wallace game, even further taking a look at some of the top scorers from that game. Ryan Seaver, who has ended up having a nice start to his Capitol career as a freshman here in Bexley. He had 13 points. Griffin Dosick provided some excellent minutes off the bench in that game for Capitol. 23 minutes, shot 5 of 6 from the field, a perfect 1 of 1 from three-point range, good for 13 points on the night for Griffin Dosick. 10 points for Caleb Crawford, and those were your only double-digit scorers on the night for Capitol. But in the meantime, Baldwin-Wallace, they got an excellent game from the leading scorer, Anthony Mazzio. 17 points on 5 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown. Jake Snyder came alive in the second half. He ended up finishing with 17 points. And Drew Wennis was also able to drop 17 in that win for Baldwin-Wallace. So with the win, Baldwin-Wallace was able to improve to 4-2 with an OAC play. Capitol, meanwhile, 8-6 overall, 3-4 with an OAC play after the loss to Baldwin-Wallace. So, Jonathan, they're in the middle of the pack. The OAC, year in, year out, is always a very competitive conference when it comes to men's basketball. But if you're Capitol, you got to start racking up wins. You got to start garnering momentum, and you got to start playing your best basketball as we rapidly approach the month of February.
Well, with the month of February, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe OAC, they allowed this year because of COVID that each team will have an opportunity to go to the tournament. So, Matt, am I wrong or am I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So, with that, no matter what they're sitting right now 6th in the conference right now. So, are you really worried about your seeding, knowing this is a competitive conference and one of the toughest in the NCAA? really, honestly, it's about continuing to make sure they find their rhythm with this team chemistry. We know with COVID and the situations and coaches are dealing with it, trying to find and manage their lineups. We've had cancellations of games throughout the season already. Really hasn't affected the team overall and how they're playing. But we know they can play so much better. Right now, within the conference play, they're sitting at 3-4 on the season. So in the conference, that seems where they don't really have their rhythm the most. But they aren't looking too hot when it comes to going on the road either. So here, hopefully, they can get the home crowd advantage and do what they have to do as necessary to pull off the victory here.
Well, they're definitely going to have a tough challenge tonight as they take on number 6 Marietta. We alluded to the big three that we are about to see for the Pioneers. Let's go ahead and talk about that trio. It starts with their leading scorer, Jason Ellis, the 5'11 senior out of Marion, Ohio, the leading scorer for this Marietta team, averaging 15.7 points per game, 40% from three-point land, and he is a perfect 100% from the foul line, 22 of 22 from the cherry stripe as well. No matter how you slice it, Jonathan, this is one sharpshooter in Mr. Ellis.
Well, when you have a sharpshooter like that, but you can't count out his teammates as well. Tim Krieger also a part of that big three, averaging 11 points per game, as well as Lucas Isley with 14.5 on the season so far. So this dynamic trio right here, what they're doing so far, and they're leading their team to victory.
Now, it should be a quad effort, a 4 in a way, but Mason Leidick, the 4th leading scorer for Marietta, he will be out for the Pioneers tonight due to an undisclosed injury, and that's a particularly big loss for the Pioneers tonight, Jonathan, considering that he was averaging 10.8 points per game, and he was shooting a red-hot 44% from three-point land. It's never good when you lose one of your top long shooters.
Well, you know what they say, next man up. So whoever's that's next on the lineup to take that opportunity, I think that they'll be suited, especially when it comes to this team and this team-first mentality that this team has been showing throughout the season so far. I think the next guy will be ready for the opportunity.
Meanwhile, for Capital, well, if they're going to want to compete with this Marietta team tonight, they're definitely going to have to bring their A game offensively. Very interested in seeing how this little change to the starting lineup will work for Capital tonight, as Caleb Crawford, the 6'2" sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio, went to Princeton High School down there in the Queen City. Interested in seeing what kind of an impact he'll have early on for Capital tonight.
The 513, you know, I got to represent my Cincinnati family.
Absolutely.
He's part of the Princeton Vikings High School. You know, he's shooting 50% on the season so far. I know he's going to come in and do his part. See, the thing is, within basketball, you got 5 players on the court. You know you're going to have your leading scorer. But it's about everybody else knowing who's going to accept their role. Everybody has a designated role on what they have to do in the game, but who's going to accept it and thrive in that role to help benefit the whole team?
Marietta, a strong three-point shooting team. Capital, kind of middle of the road when it comes in the OAC when it comes to shooting the three-pointer. So, Jonathan, as we get closer and closer to tip-off between the Pioneers and the Comets, do you think it would behoove Capital to try to slow the tempo down, work the shot clock a little bit, or should they try to run with Marietta? What should the strategy be when it comes to taking on this strong Pioneers team?
Well, just looking at when this team is successful, they do well when they shoot well. And so it's about knowing where you find your right shots and not trying to force anything up during this game. We know some players might try to turn this into an ISO game. No, you follow the game plan that you've been sticking and practicing all week. That's what you've been perfecting. And here's the time to slice that cake up right here. I think if they handle the ball, limit the turnovers here in this situation, because you know this team, Marietta, the Pioneers, they're poised. There's a reason they're sitting at the top of the conference at 12-2. They have a certain rhythm and sync that they are in. They're in sync. They know what they have to do, and they're going to continue to flow in full machinery like oil. It's nice oil work right there. So this team can find a way to disrupt that. I think we'll be fine.
That'll do it for our pregame coverage. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip-off here at the Capitol Center as the Comets get set to take on one of the top teams, not only in the OAC, but in the entire country. They play host to the 6th-ranked Marietta Pioneers. You're about to listen to a presentation of Capital Comets men's basketball here on athletics.capital.edu. Welcome back to the Capitol Center. Capitol getting set to play host to the 6th-ranked Pioneers of Marietta. So glad that we could have you along for the ride for this presentation of Capitol Comets men's basketball here on athletics.capital.edu. Alongside Jonathan Brown, I'm Charlie Danis. Let's get to tonight's starting lineups. Let us begin with the aforementioned 6th-ranked Pioneers of Marietta. At guard, the senior from Clarington, Ohio, number 3, Lucas Isley. At guard, the 5'11 senior from Marion, Ohio, number 4, Jason Ellis. At forward, the 6'8 senior from Delphus, Ohio, number 5, Tim Krieger. Also at guard, the 6'3 sophomore from Willard, Ohio, number 33, Cooper Parrott. And rounding out the starting 5 tonight for the Pioneers is the 6'4 sophomore forward from Byesville, Ohio, number 44, Addie Black. The head coach of the Pioneers in his 15th season at Marietta is John Vanderwall. And now the starting lineup for the Capitol Comets. At guard, the 6' sophomore from Springfield, Ohio, number 1, David Sanford. Also at guard will be the 6'1 freshman from Maria Stein, Ohio, number 3, Alex Iyink. At forward, the 6'7 freshman from Ottoville, Ohio, number 5, Ryan Seaver. Also at guard will be the 6'2 sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 11, Caleb Crawford. And rounding out the starting 5 tonight for the Comets, the 6'3 senior forward from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, number 12, Tyler Schreck. The head coach of the Comets in his 27th year here at Capitol, Damon Goodwin. Capitol coming off of a disappointing loss at the hands of Baldwin Wallace. Marietta, meanwhile, coming off of an impressive win over 19th-ranked Heidelberg. Boy, how about the student princes this year? Heidelberg has been having an excellent season so far.
Well, Heidelberg is sitting number 2 in the conference, but we're focused on this game right here, Charlie. The Capitol Center, which is looking more like a home game for Marietta right now.
Marietta travels very well from a fan standpoint as the opening tap is controlled by Marietta. We are underway here with the Capitol Center. A drive, baseline, and an instant layup there for Lucas Isley. Just like that, a 2-0 lead for Marietta. Caleb Crawford, top of the arc, being guarded by Parrott. Now we'll hand out to Sanford. Inside to Crawford. Crawford will try to back his man down. Back outside to Schreck. Now over to Iyink. Crawford, baseline. He'll drive in and he'll score. Caleb Crawford getting Capitol on the board. We're knotted at 2.
Message received, and we'll return it.
So Marietta now back with the basketball. Nearly losing it was Parrott, but he was able to gather it up. Ellis now with the ball. Top of the arc, three-pointer, no good, and rebound taken by Schreck. Fed ahead to Crawford. Cross half court, back to Schreck. Schreck will try to go down the lane, twisting, turning, back outside. Now driving towards the hoop. Iyink, he'll give it up to Crawford. Crawford, top of the arc, 15 to shoot for Capitol. Now in the hands of Seaver. Back in the hands of Sanford. Sanford will let loose a 3. And he'll knock it down. First three-pointer of the night belongs to David Sanford, the sophomore from Springfield, Ohio. A 5-2 lead for Capitol.
Hand in your face, it don't even matter. Focus, the determination right there.
Isley near the corner, being guarded by Crawford. He'll try to drive. Tough shot, and he'll get it to go.
Just a lucky roll.
5-4 lead for Capitol. 18-20 left to play in the first half. Crawford picked up defensively by Parrott. Now in the hands of Seaver. Now Seaver will go inside to Crawford near the right block. Couple dribbles, turnaround jumper, good for Crawford.
Hand in his face and still went in.
7-4 lead for Capitol. 18:01 left to play in the first half. In the hands of Isley. Isley long jumper, rattles in and out. Rebound taken by Crawford. Crawford will feed it ahead to Iyink. Iyink towards the hoop. Now back outside to Seaver. Now in the hands of Crawford. 20 to shoot for Capitol. Schreck now on the left wing. Dribbles to his right, gives it off to Sanford. Sanford splits a pair of defenders. Tough jumper in the lane, no good. Sanford trying to dig out an offensive board, but Marietta is finally able to come up with it. Great effort by Parrott right there to gather up the ball for Marietta. Quickly ahead, and the layup is no good. It's a miss by Ellis. Rebound Capitol.
Looks like Capitol got their hands on that ball.
Meanwhile, Schreck trying to go baseline, and now a foul is going to be called against Marietta. It is going to go against Tim Krieger, the senior out of Delphos, Ohio. His team's first of the half.
This is what you like to see, starting off this first half. Just it's a going back and forth battle right here. Who's going to hit harder? Who's got that 1-2 punch combo?
Substitution for Marietta's. Krieger will take a seat, and in checks Brennan Crawford, the 6'5" junior out of the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 7-4 lead for Capital, 17-15 remaining in the first half. Schreck will have a turnover. Trying to pass it to a teammate, but Jason Ellis was able to easily intercept that ball. Isley trying to drive, misses the layup, and the rebound is taken by Sanford. Sanford, head up, looking ahead, cross half court. He'll drive, real tough shot, misses, and now a run-out opportunity for Marietta. Now a loose ball, diving for it is Iyenk, and now a foul is going to be called against Iyenk. And Damon Goodwin not happy with that call right there, as he's now having a discussion with one of the officials. Our officials tonight, by the way, Chuck Dawkins, our head referee, Danny Frank, and Jack Smizing will be helping him out tonight as the pair of umpires. What do you think of that last foul call, partner?
Hey, I love the hustle from both opponents right there, from both sides of the team.
Ellis, left wing, guarded by Sanford, now in the hands of Isley. Isley, top of the arc, guarded by Crawford. 10 to shoot for Marietta. Now it's in the hands of Ellis. Pass all the way around the Parrott for three, and he'll knock it down from the right wing. We're tied at 7.
Marietta is not shy to shoot as a team, as they shoot 38% as a team on the whole from beyond the arc.
A lot of sharpshooters on this Pioneers team. So tied at 7. They'll go inside to Crawford now. Crawford, 15-footer, no good, and the rebound taken by Jason Ellis. Ellis will bring it across half court. Over to Sami Willoughby. And the three-pointer off the mark, no good. Schreck grabs the rebound after the miss by Parrott. Now fed ahead. Seaver was under the bucket, but Marietta gets back defensively. Now a three-pointer. That's no good, and the rebound is taken by Sami Willoughby, the junior out of Groveport, Ohio.
The pass was there, just overthrown. Misconnection on the easy opportunity, but an easy turnover right there.
As Isley throws it out of bounds, it'll be Capital ball. Speaking of Capital, a couple of substitutions for the Comets as Griffin Dosick and Dom Magerle check in for Capital. Coming in for Marietta, meanwhile, Ryan Reddy, the senior out of Cincinnati.
Miscommunication right there by the Pioneers. Hopefully the Comets can make up for that situation.
Dosick coming off of an excellent game where he scored 15 points off the bench in the loss to Baldwin Wallace. Let's see what he can do in this game as Seaver lets loose a three, and he knocks it down. 10-7 lead for Capital.
Seaver's got that strap on him.
Now they go inside. Willoughby went up, and a foul will be called on the inside against Capital. The question is, will it be Seaver or Crawford? They're going to call Crawford on the play. So that's his first, team second of the half. And now heading to the free throw line is Brennan Crawford, the junior out of Pittsburgh, shooting 60% from the foul line this year. Right-handed shooter. His shot is up and no good. Boy, he really spreads his feet apart when taking a foul shot. Does like Crawford.
It sounded like an earthquake when he was pounding that ball in, just looking at his stances.
Shot is up, and it's good. So Crawford splits the pair at the line. Cuts the Capital lead to 2. 10-8 in favor of Capital. About 15 minutes to play here in the first half. Iyenk dribbling to his left. Now they'll go inside, and a foul will be called on the inside against Marietta. It will go against Sami Willoughby, his first of the game, and team second. Foul occurred on the floor, so now Crawford will be the trigger man out of bounds. He'll get it in successfully to Seaver. Now it's over to Dosick at the top of the arc. Dosick dribbling to his right, going over his options, twisting, turning. Now finally gets it over to Crawford. 10 to shoot for Capital. Now it's in the hands of Magerle. Now over to Crawford. Crawford will try to drive, and he'll get the friendly roll.
You like that right there. Shot creator, creating his own shot. Didn't find one what the team was looking for. Took it to the hole.
Capital 12, Marietta 8. Really tough defense on the inside. Somehow they get it to Crawford. Now it's swung around in the corner to Reedy. Reedy in the lane. He'll be cut off defensively. Now a behind the back pass that finds Willoughby. Willoughby gets loose and scores. 12-10 lead for Capital. 14:09 to play in the first half.
You talked about Mason Lodek being out. Willoughby is actually one of the team's top scorers as well, averaging 7.3 on the season. So knowing he's going to step up to the plate with Mason out right now.
Nagerly missing the three for Capital. A run-out opportunity and a shot that does not go. Nearly went in for Jack Alexander, the sophomore out of Port Clinton, Ohio. Still a 2-point lead for Capital as Crawford takes it across half court, 12-10. 13:37 remaining in the first half. Seaver, right wing, handoff to Iyink. Iyink dribbling through some traffic. Now gives off to Dosick. Dosick passing off to Crawford. 10 to shoot for Capital. Crawford being picked up defensively by Reedy. And it will go off the hands of Willoughby. Will that pass? 5 to shoot for Capital. But then a couple substitutions as Ryan Roth and Joe Thompson check in for Capital. Checking in for Marietta, Tim Krieger. He's back in along with Cooper Parrott.
5 seconds left on the shot clock. Marietta causing that disruption right there. Hopefully out this, Comets have a play set.
Roth will inbound it from the far side. And now there's confusion as Iyink was a little slow getting to that side of the floor.
I don't think he was even on the court.
So now Roth ready to inbound. Gets into Iyink. 4 to shoot for Capital. Iyink trying to fight through a double team. 2, 1. And Capital will not be able to get a shot off. Simply too much passing that time. And it'll be Marietta basketball.
Just one of those J.R. Smith moments right there. You got to look at the shot clock, know how much time you have, especially when you're taking it from out of bounds.
Jack Alexander brings it across half court. 12-10 lead for Capital as we approach 13 minutes to play in the first half. They'll go inside to the big man Krieger. Krieger with a couple of bounces and almost stolen away by Dosick. But Marietta able to maintain possession. 8 to shoot. Alexander being picked up defensively by Iyink. Alexander on the right wing. 3 to shoot. Alexander hoists a 3. That's no good. And a foul is going to be called against Marietta. Dosick got tied up, it looked like with Krieger that time. And the foul will go against Tim Krieger. That's his second, team's third of the half. And so Krieger will quickly go back to the bench after he experiences some foul trouble. Back in is Brennan Crawford.
A little shaken up on the play right there by Krieger. Looked like a little head-to-head collision. Hopefully he is all right. Trainer's going to look at him. You don't want him to go down if you're a Pioneers fans. That's good news for Comets as he's a part of their big three.
12-10 lead for Capital. 12:40 to play in the first half. Roth dribbling to his left, giving out directions. Finally gets it over to Iyink. Iyink, left wing, over to Thompson. Thompson will drive. Tough shot. Can't get it to go. And the rebound is taken by Brennan Crawford.
Maybe if the backboard was just a little bit bigger.
Crawford, right wing, passing off to Alexander. Alexander fighting through a double team, gets through. Now he passes it off to Reddy. Over to Parrott. 14 to shoot. And Parrott, little step back jumper. That's off the mark, and the rebound taken by Griffin Dosick. Dosick will take it himself across half court. Dosick trying to drive, and then a foul will be called. Looks like it is going to go against Addie Black, a sophomore out of Byesville, Ohio. That's his first, team's fourth. And now coming into the game for Marietta's Lucas Isley. But first, a timeout by Marietta. 11:58 to play in the first half. Capital 12, Marietta 10. This is Comets men's basketball on athletics.capital.edu. Back here at the Capital Center. 11:58 to play in the first half. Capital holding a 2-point lead over the number 6 team in the country, that being Marietta, 12-10. And so far in this game, Jonathan, Marietta shooting 33% from the field as a reach-in foul is going to be called against Cooper Parrott, his first, team's 5th of the half for the Pioneers.
Well, if this is the Pioneers right now playing icy, they're doing a good job of staying in the game.
Dom Magerly not able to convert. They were trying to feed him a layup opportunity off the inbounds pass, but he simply could not convert. And now a foul will be called against Capital. The hold will go against Griffin Dosick, his first, team's 3rd.
Now, the Comets are doing a good job so far in this first half, shooting a total of 45% so far in this first half. So if they continue to find the shots that's working for them and playing this phenomenal good defense right there, it's going to remain to be a close battle.
Tough hook shot, rattles in and out for Addie Black. Rebound taken by Capital. Dosick quickly ahead to the rack. And a foul is going to be called against Cooper Parrott. And he'll find himself in foul trouble as well. His second, team 6. He is the second Marietta big man with 2 fouls this half, the first being Tim Krieger. So now, Dosick will head to the foul line. He's been great for the Cherry Stripes this year, 79%.
Yeah, Dosick took it straight to him as the first one falls. Loved how he was just got the ball in his hands and was full court going all the way down, looking to make a shot. Didn't get the fall, but to the Charity Stripes he goes. Gets the first one to fall.
Ryan Reedy, meanwhile, checks in for Marietta. The second free throw for Griffin Dosick is good. So this is a very interesting dilemma for Marietta head coach John Vanderwall as Tim Krieger and Cooper Parrott, both starters for this Marietta team, find themselves in foul trouble. He has to go to his bench, does Vanderwall, in this game. Jumper is good. Knocked down by Ryan Reddy, the senior out of Cincinnati. 14-12 lead for Capital. 11-14 to play in the first half. Roth passing off to Keandre Graves. Now over to Thompson. Now in the hands of Magerly. Back to Graves. Graves, left wing. He'll give it off to Roth. Swung around to Dosick. 15 to shoot for Capital. Dosick trying to drive inside, out to Roth. Roth for 3. Knocks it down. Ryan Roth, one of the best three-point shooters in the Ohio Athletic Conference, knocks down another trifecta. It's a 17-12 lead for Capital with 10:45 to play in the first half. And now another foul will be called, this time against Griffin Dosick. That's his second, team's 4th. Boy, the whistles have been active in this game as Ryan Seaver will check in for Capital.
It's real chilly in this booth right here. Ice in his veins as he was able to get that 3-point shot down. But, yeah, with these refs, Charlie, I don't know if it's through the wild card weekend in the NFL, but refs have been skeptical this whole weekend.
And by the way, Capital got off to a nice start from the 3-point line. 3 of 4 from downtown so far for the Comets. Hopefully they can keep that up. 17-12 lead for Capital. Approaching 10.5 to play in the first half. Isley passing it over. Ellis for 3. That's no good, and the rebound is dug out offensively by Addie Black. Big man doing a nice job of chasing down that loose ball. An extra possession here for Marietta. Clock continues to run. 10 seconds to shoot for Marietta. They'll try to go inside to Crawford. Crawford gets it. Pass inside. Black able to not finish it. Rolls off the rim. It was on that rim for an eternity before Capital was finally able to corral the defensive rebound. Roth, he'll let loose a 3. That's no good, and the rebound is taken by Crawford at Marietta. Perhaps a little too early in the shot clock.
He was feeling it. He was feeling himself. Can't blame him for that shot, but questionable.
17-12 lead for Capital. 9:48 to play in the first half. And now another foul will be called. Foul will go against Tyler Schreck, his first, team's 5th. And now Sanford and Crawford check back in for Capital. Meantime, checking in for Marietta will be Sami Willoughby, as well as Brett Martin. Martin, a junior out of football country, Massillon, Ohio. Went to Washington High School. Isley near the top of the arc, being guarded by Crawford. Gets a screen. Isley inside, and Willoughby not able to throw it down over the head of everybody, and that is out of bounds.
I'm just in shock that they just tried to attempt that right here. If that would have gone down, the crowd would have erupted.
Ooh. particularly the Marietta fans, the many Marietta fans that made the trek here tonight at the Capitol Center. Keandre Graves, top of the arc, pass over to Schreck, 17 to shoot for Capitol. Schreck looking for some help, gesturing. Finally dribbles to his right to the top of the arc, hands off to Sanford. 10 to shoot for Capitol. Sanford puts a move on his man, 3, splash, and it's another one for Capitol. Capitol now 4 of 5 from downtown. They are feeling it from three-point range tonight.
Icy, they got ice in their veins. I don't know what they got in the Gatorade today, but they are feeling it.
20-12 lead for Capitol. And a three-pointer answer on the other end for Brett Martin.
That's cool. We text back. We call back.
Cuts the Capitol lead to 5, 20-15, 8:43 to play in the first half. Keandre Graves over to Sanford. Sanford has his pocket picked. Here comes Ellis the other way. Ellis will finish at the other end, and he'll get fouled as well by David Sanford. That'll be Sanford's first, and now Ellis, the senior from Marion, Ohio, with a chance at a three-point play.
Good job of selling that foul right there, but I guess we just pushed the tempo too much and trying to respond. But great job on both sides. This is a back-and-forth battle right here. It's a close game. This is not what you expected here.
Ellis has gone 22 of 22 from the foul line so far this season. Good for 100%. And the shot is up and good. So he keeps that perfect streak alive. 23 of 23 from the line so far this season for Mr. Ellis. Cuts the Capitol lead to 2, 20-18 in favor of the Comets. 8:24 to play in the first half. Schreck, he'll drive in, he'll put it up, and he'll score. Strong take to the rack by Tyler Schreck. Isley passing off to Ellis. Ellis, double team, and then a foul is called. Foul will go against Caleb Crawford. That's already his second, and that's already the team's seventh. So now we have officially entered the 1-1.
With only 8 minutes left to go in this half, that is too early for a team to be entering the bonus right now.
Crawford will exit. Don Magerle will check in for Capitol. Meantime, Jason Ellis will once again put that perfect streak at the foul line to the test. He's already made one tonight, 23 of 23, make it 24 of 24. One more foul shot attempt for Jason Ellis as he'll attempt to cut the Capitol lead to 2. It is up, and it is good.
Put him on 4 points on the night.
22-20. Capitol with a slim 2-point lead. 8 minutes to play in the first half. Crawford battling through a double team, passing, and a traveling violation will be called against Crawford. Credit the double team there for causing the confusion for Crawford.
And when you see your teammate up there struggling, looking for a pass, you can't just stand there expecting the ball to come to you. You have to go attack it, help him out. And they left him up on the island, and the Pioneers capitalized on that. Jack
Alexander checks back in for Marietta. Pioneers now with an opportunity to either tie or take a lead. Alexander will drive in, and he'll score. And boy, he had a wide open lane that time.
Too easy, like an ice cream swirl. Swirled his way right to the bucket.
Tied at 22. 7:35 remaining in the first half. Schreck to Magerle. Dom picking his way through that defense. Back out to Crawford. Crawford inside. Seaver lost it on his way to the hoop, and it went off of his knee, so that'll go down as a turnover for Capitol. It's Marietta basketball, and now a timeout is going to be taken. 7:24 remaining in the first half. We're tied at 22 between Capitol and Marietta. This is Comets men's basketball. Athletics.capital.edu. Welcome back to the Capitol Center. 7:24 remaining in the first half. A tied ball game, 22-all between Capitol and Marietta. And the three-point shooting bears watching As this game goes along, so far in this one, Capital 4 of 6 from downtown, good for 67%. Meanwhile, Marietta, a surprising 2 of 7, good for only 29%.
Costly turnover, giving Marietta the ball right here.
Alexander on the left wing, passing off to Willoughby. Now a short jumper from the left elbow, and it's nailed by Jason Ellis.
I told you they called the beast. He's awake now. Jason Ellis is getting hot. He's turning up.
24-22 in favor of Marietta. Schreck trying to dribble through the defense. Eyeing for 3, no good, but Seaver there for the offensive board. Over to Schreck. Schreck back out to Seaver. Seaver for 3. That's no good. Schreck tipping it to himself. That's an offensive board, and he'll put it up. He'll miss it. No good. Battle for the loose ball. Marietta comes up with it. Ellis across half court. He'll go back outside. Alexander for 3, and he'll knock it down.
It's raining right now. It's raining.
27-22 in favor of Marietta. Boy, the Pioneers, they can just turn it on in an instant right there as they lengthen this lead here in the late going to the first half.
They're well-oiled machinery. They are finding their rhythm right now.
Seaver inside. Crawford backing down Alexander. And Crawford looked like he slipped, but then a foul called against Alexander, who is absolutely incredulous. That's his first foul of the game, 17th foul on Marietta. Dosick and Sanford check back in for Capital. Meantime, Brennan Crawford will be back in for the Pioneers. As now Crawford will head to the free throw line. Crawford only 43% from the foul line this year, but it's been a very small sample size as he misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Isley passing over to Ellis. And a turnover for Marietta.
Clear offensive foul. Got on number 15.
Yep, Brennan Crawford, his first, team's 8th. As Ryan Roth will check back in for Capital. 27-22 lead for Marietta. For the majority of this first half, Capital has had a lead. It's only a late 5-0 run here by Marietta that's given the Pioneers a late lead here as we tick under 6 minutes to play in the first half. Josick over to Seaver. Seaver for 3. No good, and the rebound is taken by Addie Black. The three-point shooting has kind of cooled off a little bit here for the Comets. Meanwhile, Alexander driving, and the shot will not count. Foul will be on the floor as the foul will go against Ryan Roth, his first, team's 8th. So now Alexander will go to the foul line, shooting 57% from the cherry stripe.
Yeah, the Comets seem to be cooling down as they wind down into this second half, and you got to finish this first half the same way you started, strong.
As Alexander knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1, he'll get one more shot. Seaver will check out for Capital. Checking back in for the Comets will be Joe Thompson, the junior out of Galloway. As the second free throw is no good, Thompson grabs the rebound for Capital. Sanford across half court to the right wing. Passes off to Iyenk. Iyenk swung all the way around to Roth now. 16 to shoot for Capital. Now it's Sanford at the top of the arc. He'll pass off to Dosick. Dosick dribbling to his right now, passing off to Iyenk. Iyenk gets his man up in the air, and the shot off the glass and in.
Faked him. Went left. He went right.
Nice use of the backboard right there by Iyenk as Capital cuts the lead to 4, but then on the other end is Lucas Isley. 30-24 in favor of Marietta. Dosick on the right wing. Over to Sanford. Sanford to Thompson. Thompson top of the arc. Swung around to Dosick. Dosick dribbles to his left, goes inside, and a foul will be called against Jason Ellis. That'll be his first, team's 9th. So heading to the foul line now will be Alex Iyenk, but not before a substitution by Capital as Caleb Crawford will check back in. Ryan Roth will take a seat on the bench for Capital. Iyenk on the season, 76% from the foul line.
Not too shabby, not too shabby.
Iyenk's first shot is up and good. That was the front end of the 1-and-1, so he'll get one more shot at the cherry stripe.
Ball don't lie, he's been putting in practice.
Hayek's second shot is up and good. The freshman from Maria Stein, Ohio, converts both. Draws Capital to within 4. 30-26 lead for Marietta. Approaching 4.5 to play in the first half. Jack Alexander, left wing, double team, gets out of it. Isley for 3. No good. Rebound is taken by Thompson. Thompson will feed it ahead to Sanford. Sanford, he'll let loose a 3. That's way off the mark, and the rebound is taken by Addie Black.
Had an opportunity right there to slow things down.
And now a foul will be called against David Sanford as he was guarding Jack Alexander on the play. So that'll be Capital's 19th foul of the half. That'll be Sanford's second. Don Magerle will now check in for Capital. Sanford will take a seat on the Capital bench. Back in for Marietta is Sami Willoughby. Boy, we're going to have a lot to sort through when it comes to foul trouble by the time we get to halftime. Alexander with the miss on the front end of the 1-and-1. And a turnover. They were trying to get it over to Magerle, but he wasn't ready for the pass. Ellis quickly to the hoop. Boy, he made it look easy that time, and now a timeout will be taken by Capital.
Now you see me, now you don't. Capital calling timeout, much needed.
We'll step aside. 4:01 remaining in the first half. It is Marietta 32, Capital 26. This is Comets men's basketball on athletics.capital.edu. .401 left to play in the first half. Marietta 32, Capital 26. After leading for most of the first half, Marietta's taking control here a little bit. Jonathan, it's going to be up to the Comets here to just try to keep it close. Have some momentum heading into halftime.
They need to find what they had in that beginning of this first half. That rhythm, that shink, it ain't there right now.
Dosick thought about a 3. Said he'll bounce it over to Crawford. 10 to shoot for Capital. Crawford, spin move, jumper, good for Caleb Crawford. 32-28 lead for Marietta. About 3.5 to play in the first half. Tell you what, Crawford's been looking pretty sharp from an offensive standpoint tonight.
Being able to create your own shots, being able to do that, puts you on another pedestal in this game.
Ellis passing over to Alexander. 14 to shoot for Marietta. Alexander nearly lost it, but gets it over to Ellis. Ellis for 3, off the mark. Rebound, out of bounds. They'll give it to Capital. And now Schreck will check in for the Comets. Checking in for the Pioneers will be Ryan Reedy. Marietta 32, Capital 28. 3:10 remaining in the first half. Crawford, cross half court. Over to Eying. Pass over to Seaver. Now in the hands of Schreck. Back over to Seaver. Seaver, right wing. Trying to go inside of Schreck. Went off the fingertips, it looked like, of Addie Black. 12 to shoot for Capital as Crawford will get set to inbound from the baseline.
They're going to try to feed Schreck down low. Feed that big boy.
Crawford trying to go over his options. Finally gets it into Seaver. Very surprised that a foul wasn't called against Isley, given the action that we've seen from the whistles. And now there's a whistle right there. Seems like right on cue, as the foul will go against Isley, his first, team's 10th.
To the charity stripes he goes.
Some more free throws for Alex Eying. Double bonus the rest of the way here, as Eying, his first shot is up and good.
So they go. You need these. If they're giving you opportunities here at the free throw line, you take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Second free throw upcoming here for Eying. It's up and it's good. 2-point lead for Marietta.
2 for 2 special.
32-30. Pioneers with the 2-point lead. 2:42 left to play in the first half. Isley on the right wing being guarded by Seaver. Now he'll back out. Now he'll try to drive in. He'll kick. This will be a long 2 if it goes, and it does for Ryan Reedy. 34-30. Marietta now with a 4-point lead as we took under 2.5 to play in the first half.
Actually, the Comets, they have to continue to play their game. Don't try to let the Pioneers force you into speeding the game up. Continue to play your tempo type game.
Eyeing to Seaver, now inside. Crawford gets away from one man, tough shot, and a foul will be called on the inside. The foul, it looks like, will go against Addy Black. That'll be his second.
Crawford was looking, great job on him to create, get to the free throw line. Free 99, you got 2 opportunities here.
Shot is up and good for Crawford, as Brett Martin will check in for Marietta.
Put him at 9 points.
And next make will put him in double figures. It is up, and it's good. 10 points for Caleb Crawford. Leads all scores for Capital.
Double trouble.
2-point lead for Marietta.
Keeping them in the game. See those free throws. They come to they catch up at the end.
And now Ryan Seaver, he'll get called for a foul. So there was a lot of contact between him and Brett Martin. So Seaver will get hit with his first foul. That's the 10th team foul of the half on Capital. So now double bonus time for Marietta, as Martin will head to the foul line, shooting 83% from the charity stripe this year.
Well, that's not what you want. When they give you opportunity at the free throw line, you don't want to return the favor.
As the first shot is up and good. Well, like we said earlier in the broadcast, man, we got a lot to sort through when it comes to foul trouble for both these teams. Both teams with multiple players that already have 2 fouls. As the shot is up, no good. Martin splits the pair. It's a 3-point lead for Marietta. 1:53 remaining in the first half. Crawford over to Ian. Ian on the left wing, bounce over to Schreck. Now they try to go inside. Seaver trying to save it successfully over to Magerly. Schreck trying to save it, nearly lost it. Crawford gets it back for Capital. 12 to shoot for the Comets. Now Seaver can't get the pass. It's stolen away by Willoughby. Willoughby laying it up and in on the other end.
Willoughby read it, saw it, capitalized on it.
37-32 lead for Marietta. Minute 25 left to go in the first half. Schreck over to Crawford. Crawford for 3. Oh, woefully short. That's out of bounds, and it'll be Marietta basketball.
Somebody just opened the window. That's all. It was just a nice little breeze in here.
Keandre Graves will check back in for Capital. Minute 17 remaining. Marietta 37, Capital 32.
Those are kind of shots you just got to laugh off and get back in the rhythm.
Got to get locked in again. In the meantime, Capital trying to close this first half on a good note, have some momentum heading into the second half. As Ellis will drive in. He'll miss the shot. It'll go out of bounds, and they'll give it to Capital.
You like those parties. That's a block party.
And now Ryan Roth will check in for Capital. 1:02 remaining in what has been a very competitive first half. And I'm sure there are a lot of people around the country looking at the score saying, what is going on? The 6th-ranked team is having some trouble on the road. As now another foul will be called against Marietta.
Well, there's some miscommunication on before the play. The Comets had 6 players on the court. Didn't know who to bring out. Fortunately, Crawford is headed to the bench, but it just seems to, as he comes back in the game right now, that was a quick little breather.
Lucas Isley, meanwhile, hit with his second foul. As the first foul shot is good for Schreck. Isley will hit the bench. Jack Alexander will come in. You can ill afford to have a scorer like Isley have foul trouble. So Schreck with the second free throw, and that one's good. 3-point lead for Marietta. 49 seconds and counting in the first half. Ellis will go inside to Willoughby. Willoughby over to Ellis. Ellis back inside Willoughby. 10-footer off the mark, but the rebound corralled by Ryan Reedy. 7 to shoot for Marietta. Reedy, fallback jumper. That's way off the mark, and it's collected by Schreck.
Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down.
About a 4-second differential between, no, actually they turned the shot clock off. 16 seconds and counting.
Crawford sizing his opponent up.
Do you go for the 3 or the 2?
You take your best shot you can find.
Crawford with 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot, passing off. Seaver for 3. Seaver knocks knocks it down. Tied at 37 as we head to halftime. That is a big shot made by Capital. That'll give them plenty of momentum heading into the second half. What a first half.
Seaver called halftime. He said, I'm ready to go to the locker room now. And that's how you end off a halftime, a first half right there.
The freshman from Ottoville, Ohio, knocking down the trifecta from the left wing. And at halftime, we find ourselves in a tied ball game, 37-all between number 6 Marietta and Capital. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll check some scores around the Ohio Athletic Conference, get you caught up on some action around Division I men's basketball as well, and examine the stats from what has been a very entertaining game here at the Capital Center. Again, at the half, Capital 37, number 6 Marietta, likewise. This is Comets men's basketball on athletics.capital.edu. Halftime at the Capital Center. And the number 6 team in the country is getting all that they can handle from the Capital Comets, as number 6 Marietta tied with Capital at 37 at the half. We'll examine the stats from the first half in just a moment, but first off, let's get you caught up with some scores around the Ohio Athletic Conference. They have just gone to halftime at Otterbein. The Cardinals trailing the Wilmington Quakers in that one by a score of 32-29. The Quakers are being paced offensively by Jeffrey Mansfield, who's got 10 points in that game thus far. Leading scorer for Otterbein, meanwhile, it's been a pair. Jake Justice with 6 points, as well as Justin Carter with 6 points in that game for the Cardinals. Elsewhere around the OAC, they have gone to halftime at Ohio Northern. The Polar Bears leading the top 20 ranked Heidelberg Student Princes in that one, 36-28. Student Princes have been on quite a roll as of late, as Dylan Woods is the one that leads the Student Princes in scoring in that one with 10 points. He's gone 4 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point range in that one. Leading scorer for Ohio Northern, meanwhile, has been Landon Long. He has got 8 points, a couple made three-pointers in that one. Just about to go to halftime at Baldwin-Wallace. The Yellow Jackets, after a good win over Capital last weekend, they're leading John Carroll in their game 52-40. Quite the high-scoring affair between the Yellow Jackets and the Blue Streaks so far. B-Dub has been getting some solid performances by, not too surprising here, Drew Wennis, who's a terrific sharpshooter. He's got 16 points, 4 of 7 from downtown. Anthony Mazzeo, meanwhile, 13 points for the Yellow Jackets. Jackson Sartain, he leads all scorers for John Carroll. He's got 11 points on the evening thus far. And then finally, Mount Union playing host to the Muskies of Muskingum. And they have gone to halftime in that one. The Raiders leading the Muskies 39-25 in that game. Mount Union is being led offensively by guard Chris Painter. He's got 12 points on the night for the Purple Raiders. Those are the scores around the OAC. Meantime, let's go ahead and get you some score updates around Division I men's basketball top 25. And we actually only have one game in action at the moment. 13th ranked Louisiana State on the road visiting the Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And so far, it's Alabama who leads the Bayou Bengals in that one 27-23 with 3:26 left to play in the first half. Coming up later on tonight, 11th ranked Villanova tangles with Marquette at 8 at 8:30. 12th ranked Kentucky, they take their Big Blue Nation act on the road. They will be playing Texas A&M, who, despite being 15-2 overall and 4-0 with an SEC play, currently find themselves not ranked in the top 25. Second-ranked Auburn, the Tigers, they have been red hot down there on the plains. 16-1 overall, 5-0 in an SEC play. They play host to Georgia beginning at 9. And finally, 20th-ranked Xavier heads to the Windy City of Chicago to take on the DePaul Blue Demons. That game is scheduled for a 9 p.m. tip-off. You know, you and I were talking before tonight's game about how, particularly at the Division I level, there really is no clear-cut number one. There have been upsets galore so far this season.
There's too many teams going down. Ohio State taking down Duke, and then Ohio State going on this rocky roller coaster here. It's just hard to watch competitive. I'm not saying it's not competitive, but it's hard to watch in men's basketball right now in the NCAA, knowing that the team, anybody who takes the helm at the number one can go down any day of the week.
It's been a pretty crazy season when it comes to men's college basketball, which only means that it's going to be madness, I tell you, by the time we get to March. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the stats from this first half. Again, the score, Marietta 37, Capital likewise. And Jonathan, if you will, let's go ahead and go through the stats, starting with the team statistics.
Well, if we take a look at the team statistics, both teams have shot the ball well here in the first half. Marietta shooting 46% on the half, and the Comets right behind them with 44%. Now, Marietta is not weary from taking shots from behind the arc as they have gone 3 of 10 to start out this first half. But the Comets, they are finding their rhythm, getting some balls to fall in. And that last one right there by Ryan Suver to call the first half has them shooting 5 of 12, 41% from behind the arc. Now, both teams aren't shying away from having opportunities to get into the free throw lines. There's a nice opportunity to get points free, 99, and the Comets are capitalizing on them 100%, going 10 from 11 from at the free throw line. And those points are costly right there. As you see, those points right there are keeping them in this game right here. But the Pioneers, they are shooting 6 from 10 from the free throw line, so those points are going to cost them back later in this game. Both teams are doing well on offensively and defensively on the rebounds here. With a -2 differential for the Comets as they are 16 rebounds to the Pioneers 14. As we look at assists, both teams are doing well, spreading the ball. Not as much as the Comets have their leading scorer, as well as the Pioneers have their big three. But the Comets, as we look at this turnover and the turnover differential, they have 7 turnovers in the first half, and they got to cut that down. From the Pioneers, they only have 3.
Other statistics of note from that first half: points in the paint, Marietta 14, Capital 10. Fast break points, Marietta 12, Capital 2. And finally, bench points, Marietta 19, Capital 5. Yet we find ourselves tied here at the half between Marietta and Capital. Now on to the individual statistics. Let's begin with Marietta. The lead scorer for the Pioneers was Lucas Isley. He's got 8 points, 4 of 7 shooting from the field, but has yet to make a three-pointer in this game. He's 0 of 2 from downtown. Other scores to note from that first half for Marietta: 7 points for Jason Ellis, who's gone 2 of 7 from the field. 1 point for Brennan Crawford. 4 points for Sami Willoughby. 6 points for Jack Alexander. 4 points each for Ryan Reedy and Brett Martin. And finally, 3 points for Cooper Parrott. Meanwhile, for Capital, what a first half it was for Caleb Crawford. 4 of 6 from the field. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Also contributed with 3 rebounds. 10 points on the night for the sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio. And he's allowed Capital to keep it together offensively when Capital needed some key buckets down the stretch there. He answered the bell.
Well, when you're coming from the Cincinnati, not to be biased, you got to get a little nitty-gritty. And so with that 5-1-3, he's been able to find his own shots and becoming a shot creator and doing his thing. It's keeping this team in the game so far, as he's the only member in this purple gear with double-digit figures.
Other scorers of note for Capital in that first half: 6 points each for Ryan Seaver, who knocked down the big 3 before the end of the first half. David Sanford with 6, Alex Iank with 6. Tyler Schreck has got 4 points. He's been a factor on the glass as well. He's got 6 rebounds on the night for Capital so far. Griffin Dosik's got 2 points and 3 points for Ryan Roth. Now, there is one thing that we have definitely got to sort out here before the start of the second half, and it is foul trouble. The whistles were flying like crazy between our head referee, Chuck Dockin, and the umpires, Danny Frank and Jack Smizing. So let's go ahead and go through real quick the foul trouble for both teams. David Sanford's got 2 fouls. Caleb Crawford's got 2. Griffin Dosik has got 2. Those are the players with at least 2 fouls from that first half for Capital. Meantime, for Marietta, Tim Krieger and Cooper Parrott, 2 key big men for the Pioneers. They have 2 fouls, as does Lucas Isley, one of the leading scorers for Marietta. So, Jonathan, I got to ask you, what did you make of all the whistles that seem to be going all over the place? It just kind of seemed to me that you got to let the guys play a little bit.
Well, I say that often, especially when it's a division rivalry. Being in this conference, all the conference games are going to be competitive, and that's what you want. Sometimes you just got to let the boys play, but the rest are doing their best job of trying to call the right fouls. But if you're going to call them like that, call them for the rest of the game. So if they're being like that diligent in the first half, I hope to see the same consistency in the second half.
Foul trouble, foul shots, I think are going to be really key, especially in a close ball game like this. But, man, we're glad that we're playing basketball. It seems like there have been so many changes because of COVID, cancellations, postponements. We got ourselves a good one here at the Capitol Center, that is for sure. Coming out of halftime, it'll be Capital and Marietta, tied at 37. This is your home for Comets men's basketball. Athletics.capital.edu. We're back here at the Capitol Center. Could an upset be brewing? Well, we'll just have to see as the second half is right around the corner. Number 6, Marietta, tied with Capitol, 37-all. I'm Charlie Danis, joined here in the booth tonight by Jonathan Brown. And Jonathan, it's been a very entertaining game. Capitol has been giving the number 6 team in the country all that they can handle. Where are some of the keys as we head into the second half?
The keys going into the second half for the Comets, on their standpoint, lower your turnovers. You got 7 turnovers in the first half. Continue to find the shots that you need to take. So you've seen spurts of it throughout the first half where they tried to increase their tempo, trying to go head-to-head with Marietta. But play your game. As they continue to do what they've been doing and practicing all week, they'll be able to finish this battle strong.
Capitol will begin with possession to start the second half. Iank will get it into Crawford. Crawford with a very good first half. 10 points from the sophomore from the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio. Schreck now with the basketball. Twisting, turning, off the glass and in. Good start for Capitol as Schreck gets the 2.
Go ahead, Schreck. I think this team is up. They're going to start the second half hot. Whoever comes out and starts this strong, I feel is going to end in their favor.
39-37 lead for Capitol. 19 to shoot for Marietta. They will go inside. And a layup, no good, but a foul will be called against Schreck. His second of the game, team's first of the half. And heading to the foul line will be Tim Krieger. We didn't see a lot of Krieger in that first half because he was in foul trouble. Came into this game averaging 11 points per game, senior out of Delphus, Ohio.
From the free throw line, he shoots about 61% on the season.
Shot is up and good for Krieger.
It'll be his first points of the game.
One more free throw attempt for Krieger, who uses a staggered stance when shooting free throws. Right foot in front of the left foot. The shot is up and good. And just like that, we're tied at 39.
That's something to keep a lookout for, knowing that that's his first points of the game. So he was quiet in the first half, and those are the ones you need to watch out for to creep up on you in the second half.
Schreck passing off to Sanford. Sanford at the top of the arc. He'll swing it around to Seaver. Seaver for 3. No good, and the rebound taken by Marietta. Willoughby making the grab for the Pioneers. Isley hands off to Ellis. Ellis left wing. Gets a screen. Near the foul line, inside, and a driving layup made by Tim Krieger.
That's good ball vision right there.
Marietta up by 2. Crawford with an answer, no. Rebound by Schreck, but unfortunately for him, he bounced it off of the end line, and that will give the ball to Marietta. Still, excellent effort by Schreck.
I just always love the amazement when seeing a player look like they're coming up for a shot, and just the way when they come down, it looks like they're floating in the air. And Crawford just couldn't get the ball to flow his way.
Ellis lost it out of bounds. And a rare unforced error there for Marietta, as that will lead to Capitol basketball. Crawford running the point for this Capitol team. He'll bring it across the timeline. He'll pass off to Schreck. Schreck top of the arc, over to Seaver. Now in the hands of Sanford. Sanford thought about a 3, now dribbling to his left towards the top of the arc. Bouncing it over to Schreck. 12 to shoot for Capitol. Schreck dribbling to his left. Now he'll try to go baseline. Try to drive inside. Pump fake. And can't get the shot to go. Can't get his own miss. The rebound instead grabbed by Willoughby. Still a 2-point advantage for Marietta, as we're just about 2 minutes into the second half. And a foul will be called against Schreck once again, defending against the driving Krieger. That is Schreck's 3rd foul of the game, team's 2nd of the half. And now Dosick will have to check in for Capitol.
Dosick also has 2 fouls, so just be wary of that right there. You're starting big man with 3 fouls, starting with 18 left in the second half.
Now they get inside. 3-pointer for Ellis, and he knocks it down from the corner. Jason Ellis, cold-blooded killer, made that look easy. Meantime, foul will be called on the other end against Ellis, as Iank takes a tumble to the floor.
I love the tenacity that Ellis is showing. That shot right there, that 3-point fadeaway, put him on double digits on the figure for the night with 10.
Ellis with his 2nd foul, team's 1st. And then a traveling violation will be called against Iank. Marietta 44, Capital 39. Now a timeout will be taken by Damon Goodwin. 17:53 remaining in the second half. This is Comets men's basketball on athletics.capital.edu. $17:53 to play in the second half. Marietta 44, Capital 39. Jason Ellis has got 10 points for Marietta. He's starting to heat up.
Shooting about 37 to start off in this game, so luckily he'll find his rhythm, but the tenacity he's bringing on defense create those opportunities for him on offense.
Lucas Isley, meanwhile, brings it up for Marietta. Ellis now bounced over by Krieger in the hands of Parrott. Parrott being hounded by Dosick, and now a timeout's going to be taken by Marietta. We'll keep things right here at the Capitol Center. 17:35 left to play in the second half, as this will only be a 30-second timeout by the Pioneers. Marietta 44, Capital 39. Taking a look at the team stats here, Marietta shooting 50% from the field, Capital only shooting 41%. Meantime, both teams have kind of cooled off a little bit from three-point land. Marietta 4 of 11, good for 36%. Capital 5 of 13, meanwhile from downtown, good for 39%.
Yeah, and the thing is, that was great defense by the Comets on trapping Marietta in that corner right there. But with the score right here, you don't want this score to increase any more than it is. Keep it in single digits.
44-39 lead for Marietta, 17.5 to play in the second half. Isley, long three, and he knocks it down from the top of the arc. Lucas Isley, the senior from Clarington, Ohio, is starting to heat up, and now it's an 8-point lead for Marietta.
I should have known. He's got the headband on, so he's coming strapped.
Sanford, left wing, over to Seaver. Seaver, top of the arc, dribbling to his right. Now he'll pass off to Isley. Isley, double teamed, and threw it away into the hands of Willoughby.
Help your teammate out. Help him out.
Parrott now to the right wing, over to Krieger. Back to Parrott for three. That's off the mark, and the rebound taken by Crawford. Crawford will bring it across half court. And double dribble by Crawford. Crawford can't believe it, but it will go down as a turnover for Capital.
Calm down, Comets, calm down. Find your rhythm, find your strong. Get back in the rhythm of things, all right? 1 or 2 turnovers doesn't shut you down.
Marietta 47, Capital 39. 16:40 left to play in the second half. Isley inside to Krieger. Now back out to Isley. Isley for three. That's off the mark, and the rebound is taken once again by Crawford. Crawford will quickly get it ahead to Iank. Iank for three. No good. Sanford trying to battle for it, trying to keep it in bounds, and Dosick is able to grab it for Capital. Seaver over to Sanford. Sanford trying to dribble around Isley. Not able to do so. Gets it inside to Seaver, batted around, another turnover for Capital.
They tried to get it down low, but nice double team action by the Pioneers.
Isley, right wing. He'll drive in. It's a kick. Ball poked away by Sanford. Good defense right there by the sophomore from Springfield. As now Don Magerly will check in. Sanford will take a seat on the bench for Capital.
Good disruption right there. Slow it down. Find your rhythm, Comets. Find your rhythm.
You don't want to let this game get out of hand. Capital's got to find a way to keep their composure here. As Parrott will receive the inbound. Tough jumper, that's no good. Rebound is taken by Iyink. Iyink driving up the floor. Bucket won't go, but a foul will be called against Parrott. His third, team second of the half.
To the free throw line he goes.
Iyink, the freshman from Maria Stein, Ohio. He's had himself a productive game so far for the Comets, 6 points. 4 of them coming from the foul line tonight.
Iyink is one of Capital's top 2 leading scorers on this team, averaging about 10 points per game.
His first toss from the cherry stripe is no good. Off the front rim as a substitution will be made by Marietta. Ryan Reedy will check in.
So far, he was perfect from the free throw line so far.
Second free throw for Iyink is good. 7-point lead for Marietta, 47-40. 15:43 left to play in the second half. Capital has got to get defensive stops here. Reedy twisting, turning, and the shot is up and in. Boy, that was some nice ball handling by Reedy.
Hey, that fooled me out right there.
9-point lead for Marietta. This is their largest of the game. Crawford to Iyink, inside. Seaver saving it. Iyink thought about a 3. He'll drive in, 15-footer. Way short. Rebound taken by Jason Ellis. Ellis, wild shot, gets it to go.
This is Marietta has found their rhythm. They're getting it to fall.
And now a timeout will be taken by Capital. 15:01 remaining in the second half. It's Marietta 51, Capital 40. This is Comets basketball on athletics.capital.edu. .01 remaining in the second half. Marietta has outscored Capital 14-3 here in the opening minutes of the second half, opening up a 51-40 lead on the Comets. And if you're Damon Goodwin's crew here, Jonathan, I think the best thing for them to do is just take it at one possession at a time. You know, they're going to have to chip away at this lead here.
Right now, the shots just haven't been falling for the Comets.
And the turnovers keep piling up as Krieger's able to get that one. Ellis for 3. That's no good. Rebound taken by Megerly. Crawford up ahead. Crawford, long jumper. It's good. And it starts with shots like that. It's back down to single digits. 9-point lead for Marietta. Now they got to string together defensive stops.
Keep the team in this game. Great job by Crawford right there. Putting it down to single digits.
Isley, top of the arc. Swung around. Now they go inside to Krieger. Krieger being guarded by Seaver. Krieger, couple bounces. Turns around. Jump hook will rattle home.
That's just strength right there. Just getting that nice hook shot in.
It's back up to 11 for Marietta. 14:06 to play in the second half. Dosick, top of the arc. Bounced over to Megerly. Dom will drive inside, and a foul will be called. It was a late foul call, but a foul call nonetheless, as it will go against Willoughby. His second, team's third of the half. And so Dom, the freshman from Akron, Ohio, he'll head to the foul line. Attended Archbishop Hoban High School in the Akron area.
This will be his first shots at the free throw line.
And the first shot's no good as Sanford and Thompson check in for Capital. Meanwhile, Alexander back in for Marietta. Dom wasn't able to play in the loss to Baldwin-Wallace last weekend because of injury, so it's good to see Dom back out there on the floor, and hopefully he can play a part in rallying Capital back into this one. As his second free throw is up and good.
Going 1 for 2 from the line. He shoots about 62% on the season from the free throw line.
10-point lead for Marietta, 13:50 to go in the second half. It's in the hands of Isley. He's got 11 points on the night. Right wing, Isley will get it over to Krieger, and now Krieger trying to do a little move around Dosick, and Dosick will now get hit with a foul. That's his third of the game, and team's third of the half. So now Alexander will be the trigger man. He'll inbound it from the baseline, and he'll get it in successfully to Krieger. Krieger now passing it into the hands of Reedy. Reedy lost the ball out of bounds, and they'll give it to Capital.
We'll take that turnover right here. Now can you capitalize on it? It's a 10-point game. Put that down to 8 or 9.
Roth, meantime, will check back in for Capital. Crawford will take a seat on the bench. Roth, Dosick, Sanford, Thompson out there along with Magerle for Capital. Over to Sanford. Now in the hands of Thompson. Back over to Magerle. Magerle to Sanford. Sanford for three. There's a foul called, and it'll be offensive. The foul will go against Ryan Roth, his second of the game, team's fourth.
You can't have that right there.
Especially when you're trying to make a rally, to try to make a comeback in a game like this. You can't give possessions away.
You don't want to let the Pioneers try to dig this hole any deeper than it is right now.
Jack Alexander, top of the arc, double teamed, fights out of it. Long three, and Alexander knocks it down. Man, the sharpshooting on this Marietta team, it's impressive.
The numbers may say otherwise, but when you see them in person, they're shooting lights out.
Magerle swung around. Sanford for three. No good. Sanford gets his own miss. Jumper is good. 11-point lead for Marietta.
Second hustle effort right there by Sanford, getting his own putback and getting some points on the board.
Isley, left wing, dribbling to his right, and he got fouled by Sanford. Sanford with his third foul of the game, team's fifth.
You can't be doing that. You can't be going down and putting points on the board and then putting yourself in more foul trouble. That's his third. Only 12 minutes left in this half.
And before you know it, Marietta will be shooting free throws. Capital already up to 5 fouls, 2 more in the 1-and-1 for the Pioneers. Meanwhile, Alexander on the left wing. Now he'll let loose a three. That's off the mark, and the rebound taken by Roth. Roth ahead to Magerle. No, it's picked off. Another turnover. Reedy up ahead. Willoughby almost moved the pivot foot, and then he was able to call timeout just in time. And now he'll go to the floor. Oh, man, that's got to be one of the worst positions to be in if you're a big man, as Willoughby will now hobble off the floor right there. You're just trying to hold your pivot foot as best you can. You don't want the traveling violation, but at some point it's going to give.
Well, the opportunity was there, and the Pioneers able to come up on a steal, that predetermined pass right there. And there was a 3-on-1 opportunity right there. It's just a little late on the pass, and hopefully he is all right. I know his ankle is a little shaken up, so hopefully he can get back on the court with his team.
12-11 left to play in the second half as we have a timeout here. Marietta 56, Capital 45. The Pioneers have outscored the Comets in the second half 19-8. Taking a look at the individual scores for both teams. Jason Ellis leads all scorers for Marietta with 12 and 11 points for Lucas Isley. Meantime for Capital, 12 points for Crawford. Sanford's got 8.
Charlie, I don't know. Can you explain what has just happened in the second half? Are we seeing the same Comets team we did in the first half?
Well, I don't think so. That Comets team in the first half was battling and scrapping, but At some point you got to give credit to Marietta. There's a reason why they're the number 6 team nationally. And the shooting in this second half for Marietta has been impeccable as their big scorers have come alive. Now, if Capital is wanting a chance to battle back in this game, you got to get some defensive stops. Krieger gets his man up in the air, and that's just a great shot fake right there.
That's a big man faking you out. And Krieger trying to crawl his way to some double-digit figures and trying to join his big 3 fellow teammates, Lucas Isley and Jason Ellis.
He was in foul trouble for much of that first half. 58-45 lead for Marietta. 11:40 left to play in the second half. Dosick for 3. No good, and the rebound is taken by Addie Black. That three-point shooting was so key in the first half for Capital. They have cooled off significantly from downtown here in the second half. Ellis near the left elbow. Now we'll pass it off to Addie Black. Black will give it up to Alexander. Alexander, right wing, guarded by Sanford. 10 to shoot for the Pioneers. Now it's passed over to Krieger. Krieger over to Reedy. Reedy will let loose a 3, and he'll knock it down. Boy, this second half has been a shooting clinic for the Pioneers. 61-45.
And they're shooting 60% to start off the second half.
10:55 remaining in the second half as Marietta has blown this ball game open. Sanford passing over to Thompson. Thompson for 3. That's no good. Another miss for Capital. Another rebound for Marietta. Alexander to Ellis. Ellis losing the handle but gets it back. Then he'll turn around and he'll miss a 3. Thompson quickly ahead. He'll have his shot blocked, but then a foul will be called. The foul looks like will go against Krieger. His 3rd, team's 4th of the half.
He just tried to take it up against 2 big men. I don't know what he expected, but he's headed to the free throw line.
Thompson, a junior out of Galloway, Ohio, former West Jeff man, West Jefferson High School. Yeah, as the free throw's up and good. Shooting 82% for the foul line is Thompson.
It's the first one to fall.
Ink and Crawford check in for Capital. Meantime, back in for Marietta is Lucas Isley, as well as Cooper Parrott.
Let's see, that's what you like, these kind of players. Thompson's been, as a first year on the bench and has grown into his role coming off the bench. As you get older, you get that experience as he heads back to the bench, but getting able to hit both shots there.
Ryan Seaver back in for Capital. 61-47 lead for Marietta. 10:22 to play in the second half. Alexander over to Isley. Isley over to Parrott. Now they go over to Alexander. Alexander will drive in. And boy, I thought that was a clean block by Dosick, but instead that will be a foul against the junior big man, and that is his 4th of the game, team 6.
I think the ref didn't like he wasn't invited to the block party. That was a clean one.
So now heading to the foul line is Jack Alexander. His first shot is up and good. Schreck will check back in for Capital. Alexander, a sophomore out of Port Clinton, Ohio. Attended Oak Harbor High School. The shot is up, and it is good. 63-47 lead for Marietta. Coming up on 10 minutes to play in a second half that has been dominated by Marietta. As another turnover by Capital. Here comes Alexander. He'll feed Addie Black, not able to finish. And then a foul will be called against Brennan Crawford of Marietta, his 2nd, team's 5th.
Yeah, Pioneers had an opportunity right there and just blew it. So hopefully you're not too deep in this hole for the Comets. It is not over. It's never over until that clock says 0-0.
Well, in the meantime, they got to start making shots once again if they want to get back into this game. Capital down by 16 with 9:40 left to play here in the second half. Seaver for 3. No good. Rebound taken by Lucas Isley.
Those are the shots you're looking for, and you just need them to fall, and they're not going their way right now.
Alexander, right wing, over to Crawford. Back over to Alexander, and an offensive foul will be called against Brennan Crawford. His 3rd, team 6.
Nice little try to go and pick and roll action right there. Looked like he didn't have his feet all the way set.
Tim Krieger will check back in for Marietta. Hayek will now inbound it for Capital from the near side. He'll get it into Crawford. Caleb Crawford will take it across half court. On the left wing, Crawford bounces over to Hayek. 18 to shoot for Capital. Schreck down the lane, and a foul will be called against Krieger. That's his fourth, team seventh. So foul shots coming here for Ryan Seaver. Now, the lead currently right now for Marietta is big, but remember us talking about the foul trouble. Remember how free throws could be playing a big factor. Got to make these shots down the stretch here. And Seaver's first shot is up and good.
Well, the thing is with Krieger going, that is his fourth foul on the game. It doesn't look like his coach is going to pull him out. Not saying he's not doing the job on the scoreboard-wise, but he's effective down low, and Marietta's going to let him continue to play.
Speaking of Krieger, he pulls down the rebound after the miss from the foul line. 63-48. And now another foul will be called against Capital, this time against Hayek. That's his second, team seventh. So now free throws coming here for Marietta. 1-and-1 opportunity for Lucas Isley, who came in here averaging 14.5 points per game, shooting 88% from the charity stripe.
This will be his first one.
It's up and it's good. So he'll hit the front end of the 1-and-1, and he'll end up trying for another shot at the foul line. Isley's shot is up, and it's good. Substitution for Capital, checking in for the Comets will be Dom Magerly. 65-48 lead for Marietta as we tick under 9 minutes to play here in the second half.
Looks like this Comets team is looking like a shell of themselves from the first half.
Crawford over to Hayek. Hayek down the lane, and he got fouled. And the foul will go against Isley, his third, team's eighth.
Continue to do what you got to do. Hayek was able to dominantly try to force his way to the hole, and to the charity stripes he goes.
Capital still hanging around as the shot is up and good by Hayek.
It's the first one to roll.
One more free throw upcoming here for Hayek.
Maybe it's something on this side. I just don't know. Maybe Marietta had their slump in the first half on this side of the court, so maybe he's just getting the better half of the Comets.
Meanwhile, second free throw missed. Seaver, however, gets the offensive board. Magerly for three. No good. Rebound taken by Marietta. Boy, nothing falling from three-point range this half for Capital. As Addie Black grabs the rebound for Marietta.
They're shooting 0 for 6 from behind the arc in the second half.
Isley on the left wing, dribbling to his right. Now he'll drive inside, step back, jumper is good. Isley is feeling it.
It's not just the headband. He got the Jordan leg sleeve on, too. He is really feeling himself.
18-point lead now for Marietta. 8:07 to play in the second half. Seaver, top of the arc. Magerly able to finish. Nice find by Seaver. And now Magerly is down. He is lying on his stomach, and I don't know what happened there. I was looking up ahead to see how the play would transpire after the made bucket by Magerly. And now he turns over. He's helped to his feet. And oh boy, that does not look good as Magerly is not putting any pressure whatsoever on his left foot. So he will immediately get attended to there. He already was wearing a big brace on his left knee. He's getting stretched out right now by the Capital training staff.
Things you don't like to see. We hope everything is all right.
67-51 lead for Marietta. 7:52 remaining in the second half. Long jumper by Isley. Shot won't go, but a foul will be called against Caleb Crawford, his third, team's eighth. Shooting foul, so 2 shots upcoming here for Isley.
Well, he's perfect on the game so far, as well as he's shooting 60% in this total game so far, so he's going to continue to find his shot.
Isley now with 16 points. That leads all Marietta scorers in this game. He'll get one more chance at the foul line here.
You know, we talked about Marietta's big three, Krieger, Ellis, and Isley with double-digit figures. But it looks like one of their own teammates cracked up at the end, Jack Alexander, with double-digit figures.
Offensive rebound by Martin. Drive inside. No good. Rebound taken by Seaver. Up ahead to Crawford. Crawford to the other end to Ian, who finishes. Marietta 68. Capital 53. Under 7.5 to play.
Great job by Crawford, willing to relinquish the ball and get the assist, seeing his teammate coming down the hole.
Isley to Ellis. Inside to Krieger. Krieger looking to back his man down near the left block. Turns, misses, rebound taken by Seaver. Seaver over to Iyank. Iyank, he'll drive in, misses the layup. Schreck, offensive board, puts it up and in.
That's some big boy strength right there.
Marietta 68, Capital 55. 6:50 to go in the second half. Isley to Ellis, back over to Krieger. Krieger over to Parrott. Parrott gets a screen. 3-pointer. No good. Rebound taken by Crawford. Quickly across half court. Settles on the right wing. Iyank. Over to Sanford. Sanford to Schreck. 15 to shoot for Capital. Iyank to Seaver. Seaver trying to drive in to Schreck. Schreck trying to get some contact. Tough shot. No good. Krieger with the rebound for Marietta.
We're looking to find for that shot. And we're settling with that. Still plenty of time left in this game.
Isley. Cross half court. Over to Ellis on the left wing. Ellis trying to drive. Tough shot blocked by Schreck. Crawford comes up with a loose ball.
Block party.
Sanford for 3. No good. Rebound taken by Martin. And then he gets fouled by Seaver. Seaver with his second. Team's 9th. And now Griffin Dosick will check in for Capital. Meantime, checking in for Marietta will be Ryan Reedy. And this is where foul shots will play a role down the stretch here. Going to the free throw line will be Brett Martin, a junior out of Massillon, Ohio, shooting 83% from the foul line this season.
Down 13 with 5:45 left. It is not over.
And the front end is missed. Schreck with the rebound. Hands off to Sanford. Sanford trying to get it over to Iyank. Almost a turnover out of bounds, and Capital somehow gets possession back.
Those are things, that questions me. When you try to come down low, your big man is right down low in the paint, and you just try to hit him with a quick pass. Big men just don't honestly have that,
Roth will get it in to Sanford. Off top of the arc, has his pass batted away momentarily. Now back over to Schreck. Schreck down the lane, and there should have been goaltending, and they're going to count the bucket. No, they're going to
charge.
Wow. I did not see a charge on that last play. Did you?
No, that looked clear goaltending.
Interesting. That'll be the 4th foul on Schreck. 10th team foul on Capital. And that leads us to a timeout. Let's catch our breath. 5:17 left to play in the second half. Marietta 68, Capital 57. This is Comets men's basketball on athletics.capital.edu. We're still trying to figure out what happened on that last play as Tyler Schreck was driving in for two. The ball went into the hoop, but then a whistle and what looked like an offensive foul was called against Schreck. I believe they took the foul off of the board because according to my count, that foul for Schreck would have given them 10. On the scoreboard, it has Capital with 19 fouls. So I think they count the basket, and that draws Capital to within 11.
Yeah, that shot right there put Schreck on double-digit figures for the night.
Ellis, oh man, making a tough shot over the hand of Griffin Dosick. He's been money for Marietta tonight.
It doesn't matter what they're going to do offensively. They can't stop them on defense.
Schreck on the left wing. Dribbling inside off the glass and in for Tyler Schreck.
Big man got handles.
Back down to an 11-point lead. And remember, both teams in foul trouble. So the whistles bear watching in the late going here. 15 to shoot for Marietta. Ryan Reedy passing off to Isley. 10 to shoot for the Pioneers. Isley dribbling in. Tough turnaround, Jay. And he gets the roll. Boy, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
I told you, it's the headband and the Jordan leg sleeve. He is like that.
72 to 59 in favor of Marietta. 4:05 to play in the second half. Dosick, right wing. He'll dribble on the inside. Twisting, turning, back out. Sanford for three. No good, and the rebound is taken by Krieger, and then he gets twisted around by Dosick. And that's Dosick's fifth foul. He's out of the game, and now it's the 10th team foul for Capital this half. .354 left to play in the second half. Marietta leading Capital 72 to 59. And now Tim Krieger will head to the foul line, shooting 62% from the line entering play tonight. His first shot is up, and that's no good. Well, I tell you, Marietta's left a lot of points at the foul line tonight as Roth and Seaver check back in for the Comets. One more foul shot for Krieger.
This is interesting. He's had 4 fouls.
And the second free throw is missed as well. Here comes Sanford at the other end. Inside, Dosick able to convert at the other end. It's back down to 11. Can Capital get that lead down to single digits perhaps? 3:38 and counting. Marietta 72, Capital 61. Isley drives in. Bucket doesn't go, but a foul will be called.
Free throw line he goes.
It'll go against Alex Iank, his third.
As a whole, I believe the Pioneers have improved shooting as a team from the free throw line to get this one to fall.
That gives Isley 19, by the way. As Schreck will check in for Capital.
I would put them at 8 or 12 from the free throw line in the second half, but 19. You said 19 for, is that Isley or Ellis?
Isley. And make it 20 as he knocks down both free throws. It's back up to a 13-point lead for Marietta, 3.5 to play. Oh boy, if Capital could just get a couple of three-pointers here in the late going. Schreck. Inside, back out to Sanford. Sanford trying to put a move on his man. Outside to Seaver. Seaver loses the ball, but then a foul is called. This will go against Ellis. Third foul against Ellis, 19th foul on Marietta this half. So 1-and-1 opportunity upcoming here for Seaver, shooting 79% from the field. Meantime, Crawford will check in. Dosick getting set to check in for Seaver, the shooter at the foul line at the moment. Seaver shot up and good.
Need these free throw shots. They're doing well. They've shot well as a team so far this game from the free throw line.
One more foul attempt for Seaver. It's up and it's good. So now Seaver will exit and Dosick will check back in for Capital. The Comets have gotten this lead down to 11 on multiple occasions. Can they get it down to single digits and continue to make this game a little more interesting as we tick closer to the end of regulation? And almost a turnover. Iank and Sanford. It's out of bounds and they give it to Marietta. I could have
call.
Yeah,
right
man,
there.
I could have sworn that went off the hand of Reedy.
I believe the ref saw Cass where it goes.
Oh boy. I mean, it looked from our vantage point that Reedy literally dribbled the ball out of bounds on the far side.
He lost his own dribbling. Nobody was even near him.
And so now there's a little bit of a conference near midcourt. And so it'll be Marietta ball, and now a timeout will be taken by the Pioneers. Let's pause. 3:02 remain in the second half. It is Marietta 74, Capital 63, here on athletics.capital.edu. .302 left to play in our second half. It's Marietta 74, Capital 63, and both of us thought that the ball went out of bounds off of Marietta's Ryan Reedy, but instead the Pioneers will inbound the ball from the far side, right about at half court.
He's got the refs have the best eye vision down there, so I'm just going to say he made the best call, judgment call right there.
Reedy, meantime, getting set to inbound it. He'll get it in successfully to Isley. Isley will now bring it across half court. 14 to shoot for the Pioneers. Now 10. Isley still dribbling around. He's looking for a screen from somebody. 5 to shoot, 4 to shoot. Isley from three-point land, no good, but Martin's right there to clean it up.
Ice being able down low.
Marietta 76, Capital 63. 2.5 to play in the second half. Schreck to Dosick. Dosick will go baseline. Can't get the shot to go, but was fouled on the play. The foul will go against Isley. That's his fourth. Team's 10th. So 2 shots. Upcoming here for Griffin Dosick, the junior out of Anna, Ohio, shooting 79% from the foul, or for shooting 79% from the foul line.
It's the first one to fall. Dosick shooting perfect from the free throw line this game.
Dosick's shot is up, and it is good. By the way, I made a previous mistake. I thought Dosick had fouled out earlier in this game, but he still has 4 fouls. Sanford could have had a chance to steal, but instead he slipped, and then almost dribbling it out of bounds was Marietta.
It was close. If the scores table wasn't in the way.
And a jump ball is going to be called. Good defense between Dosick and Iank, doubling up on Isley.
Yeah, the Pioneers were trying to get that timeout call. Refs blew the whistle. Jump ball, so they'll retain possession.
Meantime, Jack Alexander will check back in for Marietta. The lead is down to 12. 2:10 remaining in the second half. Alexander into Isley.
Stop here. A stop here is crucial.
Isley, meantime, almost losing it. Gets it over to Alexander. 8 to shoot. And a timeout is going to be taken, looks like, by Marietta. Seven seconds to shoot for Marietta. We'll keep it right here. A minute 58 remaining here in the second half.
See, Charlie, a minute 58. The Comets are doing a great job of not letting the ball go past the three-point line. They're seeing opportunities by trapping their wing players up against the wall with the out of bounds, but they need to create more turnovers here. It's one thing just to slow them down and put them in the corner, but you need to create a turnover here.
You need possessions.
Exactly. That's the only way you're going to cut down this deficit. But the Pioneers using their timeout. One timeout remaining, I believe.
Meantime, the upcoming schedule for Capital looks like this. They will head to Otterbein coming up on Saturday. That game is scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. And then after the rivalry game with the Cardinals, it's off to Muskingum, New Concord, Ohio, to be more specific. That's a Tuesday game, January 25th. That game will also be a 7 o'clock start. And then a scheduling change. Because of COVID concerns, Capital moved its game to John Carroll to next Friday, January 28th. That game will start at 6 o'clock. Be sure to tune in to us starting at 5:50. Again, John Carroll here at the Capitol Center, Friday, January 28th. Tip-off scheduled for 6. In the meantime, Ellis will inbound from right next to the Marietta bench. He'll get in successfully to Ellis. Ellis, three-pointer, way off the mark, saved, and Martin makes the bucket. That was great hustle that time by Jack Alexander.
I said it, they are moving like a well-oiled machine. They see the ball as soon as it was released, the team was down there to get the rebound. And great ball vision, getting the easy second chance opportunity right there.
Meantime, a turnover by Dosick, and then he commits the foul against Isley. This time, that is his 5th personal.
That'll do it.
And that'll be it for him as Seaver checks back in for Capital, as well as Ryan Roth. Minute 33 remaining in the second half. Marietta leading Capital 78-65.
Yeah, Charlie, I believe it's Isley gets these 2 shots to fall. It is looking like that might be a dagger to this game.
Isley already with 20 points in this game. And Isley, before taking the shot, stepped over the foul line. So his first foul shot will be nullified, and he'll only get 1 shot from the foul line.
Well, this game is far from over.
Shot is up and good by Isley, 79-65. Minute and a half remaining. Capital's got to start launching shots here. Schreck, meantime, with a tough shot. Can't get the bucket to go, but the foul will be called against Tim Krieger, and he will foul out.
Yeah, they go to the free throw line. That's a good opportunity right there. Driving it, finding your shot. You don't need to chuck anything just up yet. Try to get that deficit down to single digits. But Schreck to the free throw line.
Schreck on the verge of a double-double. He's got 12 points to go along with 9 rebounds. His first shot from the foul line is up and no good. Meantime, Caleb Crawford will check back in for Capital. Roth will take a seat.
Yeah, you're going to want those back.
One more free throw attempt for Tyler Schreck. His shot is up, and it is good.
That's the lucky roll.
And a foul will be called against Crawford, his 4th. Capital trying to extend this game through fouling. Meantime, Lucas Isley.
Yeah, they're fouling the wrong person.
Yep. Once again at the foul line. Came in here shooting 88%. In other words, he's really good in front of the foul line as the shot is up and good.
Okay, 22 on the night.
Yep. And Roth, meanwhile, checks back in for Capital. 80-66 in favor of the Pioneers. Shot is up, and it is good. 22 points for Lucas Isley. Minute 20 and counting. Pass inside, and it went off of a Marietta player, so Capital will maintain possession. And now a couple substitutions for Capital, as Nate Gerber and Justin Nixon will check in. So will Joe Thompson, and kind of have the feeling that this will probably be the time where both teams will empty their benches. Roth, meantime, will inbound it to Keandre Graves. Graves will try a three from the corner, and he'll knock it down.
This is the go splash.
Boy, unfortunately for Capital, they could have used a lot more of those here in the second half. 81-69 in favor of Marietta. 1 minute remaining in regulation. Alexander over to Ellis. And at this point in the game, Marietta's just looking to run some clock. Ellis to Alexander. 6 to shoot. Alexander for three. No good. Rebound taken by Justin Nixon. 35 seconds and counting. Thompson for three. That's no good, and the rebound taken by Isley. Isley will pass it up ahead to Alexander. About a 2-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Alexander will simply hold the ball as the fans who made the trek from Marietta are starting to give a big hand to their 6th-ranked Pioneers. 10 seconds, 9 seconds and counting. And Alexander will just simply hold the ball. A shot clock violation will occur, leaving 2.2 seconds on the clock.
Well, projecting the record with less than 2 seconds, that'll put Marietta at 13-2 on the season. And that'll put the Comets at 8-7, still above 500. Still above 500.
But again, another frustrating loss for Capital. Tied at the half. Capital gave the number 6 team all that they could handle, but Marietta ends up outscoring Capital 44-32 in the second half. Pioneers showing why they're one of the top teams not only in the OAC but nationally as they come away with the win. Your final score from the Capital Center: Marietta 81, Capital 69. Jonathan and I will be back in just a moment to wrap things up from the Capital Center. Again, the final: Marietta 81, Capital 69. This has been a presentation of Capital Men's Basketball on athletics.capital.edu. Welcome back to the Capital Center. Final score in this one: Marietta 81, Capital 69. Alongside Jonathan Brown, I'm Charlie Danis. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final stats from this game. Let's begin with the team statistics. Marietta ends up shooting 48% from the field, Capital 42% from the field. 3-point shooting proved to be pretty key in this game, particularly in the second half. Marietta ends up going 7 of 21 for 3-point range, good for 33%. Capital, meantime, 6 of 23 from 3-point range, good for only 26%. The 3-point shooting in the first half was magical. Jonathan, it kept Capital in the game. The game was tied at halftime, but in the second half, Capital went ice cold from downtown.
In the second half, it wasn't the same team that was here present in the first half. I don't know what happened. They ended the first half on a phenomenal shot by Seaver, and that energy, I don't know what happened. It just dissipated going into the second half. As they allowed Marietta to come in here and just dominate in the second half. Shout out to their star player, Lucas Isley, as he finished with one of his 3rd highest scoring games in the season. This put him with 23 points to finish off the game tonight. But right behind him, he had some help with Jack Alexander as well, finishing with 11, and Jason Ellis with 14. So it was a double trouble for the parent Pioneers, although their big three wasn't what we assumed that they would be. They came out here and they did what they had to do and handled the ball. On the rebounding side, Black for the Pioneers finished with 5 on the night, assisting as well. Not only is he able to to score and lead the team. He's able to spread the ball out. Isley finished with 3 assists on the night. As we look at the Comets, what do we have here? The ball was moved around thoroughly. Everybody was able to have the opportunity to touch the ball. But shout out to Shrek. Shrek was doing it on both ends on the court. Almost a rebound shy of a double-double. He finished with 9 rebounds and 13 points. But right behind him was Crawford. Caleb Crawford was a shot-creating guard tonight as he was finding his own shot and his rhythm, just wasn't able to get in his groove in the second half. Both teams, they struggled with fouls going into this, as well as the turnovers for the Comets, which just led to this demise in the second half.
Let's go ahead and keep rolling through the team statistics from this game. Free throw shooting. Capital 21 of 27 from the foul line, good for 78%. Marietta 18 of 27, good for 67%. Capital ends up out-rebounding Marietta in this one 34 to 29. This game featured 6 ties, 4 lead changes, but again, it was Marietta who ultimately took control of this game, particularly in the second half. Assists, Capital 8 to 7. Turnovers proved to be a real bugaboo for Capital tonight. 16 turnovers for the Comets as opposed to only 7 for Marietta. The bench came through big time for the Pioneers, 33 to 17 in favor of Marietta. Fast break points, 17 to 12 in favor of the Pioneers. 10 steals for Marietta, not a single steal on the night for Capital. Points off turnovers, Marietta 20, Capital only 7. Points in the paint, Marietta 30, Capital 26. Second chance points, each team had 4 of those, and that is it for the team statistics of this game.
Right.
Now on to the individual statistics.
Now you talked about how there was no blocks, no steals for the Capital Comets, but there was a plethora for the Pioneers.
Yep.
As just looking at the stat chart, majority of their players, Jason Ellis, Tim Krieger, and Sammy Willaboo. They finished with 2 steals total, but the team was able just to do their part on the defensive end. But surprisingly, none of the Pioneers players had any blocks. But if we look over here at the Comet side, having a couple block parties of his own, Shrek finished the night with 2 blocks down in the end, protecting the paint.
It was a great night for Lucas Isley. He led all Marietta scorers with 23. Jason Ellis with 14. And Jack Alexander comes off the bench and provides a lift for Marietta as well. He had 11 points. For Capital, Tyler Shrek, 13 points, 9 rebounds. 12 points and 7 rebounds for Caleb Crawford, who I thought did a pretty nice job out there starting in this game for Capital. And Alex Iyenk, he finishes with 10, 3 points each for, Don Magerly, Ryan Roth, and Keandre Graves. 2 points for Joe Thompson, 6 points for Griffin Dosick, who also had 4 rebounds in this game, 8 points for David Sanford, and 9 points for Ryan Seaver. So, another frustrating loss for Capital after falling to Baldwin Wallace. They lose to Marietta tonight by a final of 81 to 69. So with the loss tonight, Capital drops to 3-5 within OAC play, 8-7 overall. Meanwhile, number 6 team in the land, the Marietta Pioneers, they keep on rolling.
Undefeated in the conference at 8-0 within the conference right there. They sit atop, now 13-2. They're sitting, they're writing their own narrative here. Like you said, as we're getting down to winding out. It's crazy. We're almost out of January. Like, time's flying.
Yep.
As February comes by, the March Madness is brewing. You can feel it. It's brewing, and it's steaming up right now as teams are trying to put their ingredients together. And that plays a factor, knowing that the OAC, all teams are invited to the tournament now. It's not really about the record. It's about really finding your rhythm. But seeding does play a part, knowing that Marietta is going to have the nice home field advantage.
In the meantime, Capital will have to do a little bit of soul searching and get back to practice and get back to doing all the things right. They have a couple of road games coming up here. They got one big one coming up on Saturday, the rivalry game against Otterbein. That game is scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. We won't have the broadcast for that game, but we will have a link to the live broadcast there at Otterbein as well as live stats. So be sure to tune in to athletics.capital.edu for that one. And then another road game for Capital coming up on Tuesday, January 25th. They head to New Concord, Ohio to take on Muskingum. That game is also scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. And again, you can access that game via athletics.capital.edu with their live broadcast as well as some live stats. And then a big scheduling note for next week. Because of COVID concerns within the John Carroll program, things had to be moved around a little bit. So the men, they will play John Carroll coming up next Friday, January 28th. So a Friday night game here at the Capitol Center, and that game is scheduled for a tip-off of 6, not 7. So let me repeat that. John Carroll will come to town here at the Capitol Center Friday, January 28th, and that game will tip off at 6 o'clock. We'll have pregame coverage beginning at 5:50. And you know what? Hopefully, Jonathan, by the time we get to that game, Capitol will have racked up a couple of key wins here in OAC play. They just got to get back to basics here, and they got to build towards March.
Well, looking at a little conference play, Audubon was able to pull off an upset or a victory over Wilmington, and so that'll be the game next weekend to see who's going to pull off with that, knowing that Audubon sits ahead on the series right now 1-0. So that's a rivalry matchup right there. But Heidelberg was able to pull out a close win over Ohio Northern, 74-71. But Baldwin Wallace defending their home court territory and showing John Carroll who's boss as they defeated John Carroll 101-64. So this conference, although everybody's invited to the tournament, it's still you making sure you're setting your dominance and making your team known. This isn't just a free-for-all. Anybody is just invited. Everybody is invited to the dance, but not everybody stays for the whole time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Marietta, Heidelberg, and Mountain Union have clearly separated themselves as the 3 top teams in the OAC, but the rest of the time, seeding is up for grabs. There's still a lot to be decided, especially in the middle of the conference. Hey, it's good seeing you, my man. Thank you so much for helping me out. Jonathan Brown helping us out tonight with our broadcast. This is Charlie Dance saying one final time, the final score tonight from the Capitol Center. It is number 6 Marietta defeating Capitol 81-69. We hope that you have enjoyed this presentation of Capitol Comets men's basketball here on athletics.capitol.edu. We say so long and good night from Bexley, Ohio.